Alright, BobalosRex here. And today's lore rant is kind of a special one. I'm going to touch on the lore, but it's a class lore rant, in a way. And I did a thought experiment of, let's give a 4th spec to every class. Now, I already did a support spec to every class. You know, some people have probably done their own videos on this, but I've kind of come at this through a very special lens. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I do quite a bit and, as I go through here. So, the one thing I wanted to do, and this is a thought experiment, right? Do I think these are likely? Do I think these are coming? Do I think these should happen? I'm just having fun, okay? So, here's the thing about adding a spec. If you're going to add a spec to a class, it's got to have a point. It can't just be a different vibe of the same role, okay? So, I try to make it a different role, in a way, okay? A different play style, if you will. Not just tank, DPS, heals, but there's melee DPS, range DPS, heals. There's different kind of heals in some ways. You know, tank. and I did give, okay, let's start let me get to some of the stuff I do. So I try to make it a new role. I try to make more classes use guns and bows and crossbows. I kind of get a little freeform with maybe some weapon types that we can have in the future. I talk about references to other videos where I've created ideas for things, okay? And I thought of, there's quite a bit of melee spell clothies now, and some ranged plate and heavier armor types, okay? But let's get into it, okay? Look at my rogue. Look at my rogue, okay? How are you good? Listen, look at this armor set. Look at this armor set. This armor set completely, okay? What does this armor set remind you of? Bloodborne. Okay, what is... Or like Van Helsing. Okay. What does Van Helsing use? Oh yeah, duh. A gun. This is leather, though. Can any leather wearer use a gun? I mean, they can use a gun, clearly. But they can't, you know... Well, Rogue kinda can already. Rogues know how to use a weapon. They know how to use a gun. Lore. There's some lore for you. Rogues know how to use guns. Okay? But they don't have a spec for guns. So I think rogues need a gun spec. So I went with the easiest name, Gunslinger Rogue. You know, you can have it long range gun. You have the one gun. But I'm like, you know what? Let's get spicy with it. Why don't we have one-handed guns? There's a lot of guns in the game right now that if you look at, you're like, why is that? What? Really? Really? With a gun like this big? It's like this big, and you're like, Why don't we have dual-wield guns? One-handed guns, two-handed guns. One-handed crossbows, two-handed crossbows. Okay, let's expand range weaponry and expand how many classes can know how to use it. Alright, so Gunslinger Rogue. Okay, range rogue spec. It's like the offshoot of Outlaw. Combo points are like bullets. Gotta reload, you do your reload finisher. Your reload finisher. Alright, I reloaded. And then you do your normal shots. Kinda dealio. Like, perfect setup. Okay? you give Outlaw, I was talking about this with my stepdad, you give Outlaw with one-handed guns, instead of Outlaw wielding a one-handed sword, or mace, or axe, and a dagger, we actually wield the gun that we use on our sidearm. We actually wield the sidearm gun Outlaw Rogues carry. So we'd have Subtlety, Assassination, Outlaw, and full-on Gunslinger. The entire range of Rogue. Alright, so that's Gunslinger Rogue. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Alright. Moving on, next. Demon Hunter. Okay, listen up. I've got 2 IDs for Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is getting a twofer, okay? And I don't have... Listen up. Akama has these cool sides, right? You can get that from the anniversary boss. I didn't get it. So I use these, okay? But here's my idea for a ranged Demon Hunter. Now, we've already seen a Demon Hunter who wields a scythe. I think her name's like Alari, something like that. And we've seen like Soul Hunters. Maybe this could be called Soul Hunter or Reaper. I'm calling it Reaper. Demon Hunters deal with souls, okay? Vengeance deals with souls. Havoc deals with less souls. There's sigils. They kind of lean into sigil. I put Sigillus as a support. So I was like, souls. Soul, magic. And I just want to see a ranged Demon Hunter. Basically, you disengage and you just start using soul magic to send like blades of purple energy at an enemy. Now, to me there is like a problem there, because like I feel like using the weaponry, like you could have a Demon Hunter that's full caster, like you're using soul magic, you're shooting lasers, you know, I kind of Inquisitor style. I've talked about that before. You know, I've talked about Demon Hunters actually being able to choose what demon they are. So I really want to expand the Demon Hunter class, but but in some ways it's hard to get them fully at range. Okay? But I do think you can do like a Soul Reaver class that gets Demon Hunter maybe mid-range. Maybe we do start this mid-range kind of play style, just for aesthetic reasons. You know? But in Hearthstone, I'm bringing something up. I gotta show this. Alright, hold on. Alright, so speaking of ranged users, okay, there is a class that I think that if we really want to, can give ranged weapons to. Demon Hunter. In Hearthstone, there are Demon Hunters that use guns, okay? But they use guns with Fel magic, right? And you're like, how does this even make sense? But here's the thing. Do you see this? Do you see this demon ship? This is space. These are spaceships. Demons in WoW fly around in spaceships. Bro, give me the phasers. Give Demon Hunter frickin' Fel phasers. Call it a Reaper. You know, like Reaper from Overwatch. Fel. You have to reload your Fel juice. Come on. Give me it. Give me Soul Reaper, Demon Hunter, where I use crossbows, one-handed crossbows, and one-handed guns. Alright? Let's go! That's what we should get, dude. Hunters need competition. Let them roll for the two-handers, too. Hunters need competition. No, they should have to do with a thing. Okay? You either get Reaper Demon Hunter, where you're using soul blades at ranged, or soul magic at range. Maybe sigil magic. You know, I have that sigilless support. Or Reaper, where you're a fell gunslinging demon hunter. Alright? Think about it. Remember, the premise is we have to add a spec. Okay? So, to me, it better be different. It has to be different. It can't just be like Purple Havoc. Right? It's gotta bring some juice. Okay? And you want some juice? Look at the class. Look at the class. It's like, hold up. Back in the day, if you were a warrior and you had to pull mobs, you had to pull out your big weapon, you know? Sometimes you had a bow. Sometimes you had to boom, ba-boom. Blast. Blast that mob, pull the mob, and then you're just back to normal warrior, right? But warriors can wield weapons, ranged weapons already. So I was kind of thinking of the name. I was like heavy gunner. But then I was like bombardier. We've seen bombardiers, you know. Maybe we get a side of warrior where they're packing ammunition, right? Wire hunters. You know, if we're not going to get a full mechanic class, how about warriors throw a little bomb, throw a little explosive? You know, right now it's just engineers. You know, or like I said, just a heavy gunner. A warrior that's like, I know how to charge a guy. I know how to charge a guy and then blast them. Alright? I definitely think a heavy gunner kind of warrior play. And this kind of warrior could be right up there in melee too. They would work just like a hunter, but just be thick, highly mobile, like a warrior. You can charge. You're a warrior. You know how to charge. You can intervene and get back out and start blasting. Dude, I think it'd be really cool. Ooh, the more I think about it, the more I think it'd be cool with like the... Imagine the stances, right? So you have a close range stance, and then you have a far range stance, and you're like, boo, 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 boo. Oh, a berserking stance where you're like, ah! And a defensive where you have like more health as like a defensive cooldown. Ooh. I'm thinking like Monster Hunter style, dude. Warriors would be rolling on hunter weapons, bro. The revenge we want. Yo, hunters. Warriors are rolling on yo weapons. We're back. I think it'd be cool. So. Alright. So that's all I got for warrior. Because think about it. There's not much lore to warrior. But they know how to shoot a gun. They know how to shoot a bow. They know how to shoot a crossbow. Maybe only give the two-hander versions to them because they're a heavy gunner. You know, they don't use the one-hander. They ain't using the one-handers. They using the big boys. Alright? Oh, I think that would be cool, man. I think that would be cool. Listen, IRL, I ain't even a gun guy. But this is a video game. And I just think it'd be cool. Man. Alright, dragon. What the hell am I doing? What is this dragon? You're like, what the hell? So, when I was making the dragon spec, okay, I've already decided on a name for it a long time ago, okay? So roll with me. Devastation uses blue and red for the most part. Okay, a little black too with the deep breath. Preservation uses green, red, and bronze. Okay. Augmentation uses black and bronze. Alright. So I was like, okay. What are the underrepresented dragonflights? And I want to make a spec with them. So I had green and black. Okay. And then I came up with a name that I think is perfect for this class. Or spec. Degradation. So you have Devastation, Preservation, Augmentation, and Degradation. This is Deathwing's... we kind of see it... The Infiltrators. Alright? The ones that will get in there and beat you up from behind, infiltrate, poison, you know, do that kind of stuff. It's like the rogue of evokers. Okay? And at first I had it at range, like a long range dot class, okay? Versus Devastation's more just steady burst damage, just blasting, blasting, blasting. This one's just a dot, and it's longer range, okay? Because Devastation is that mid-range. But I don't see mid-range sticking around. I don't, personally. Could it? Maybe. I don't see it sticking around. So I switched this from a range to a melee, and I think it'd be really cool to see a melee evoker actually using our claws. Using our weapon. We can wield swords. We can wield a two-handed sword. What do you do with the sword? I'm just casting. No, I want to slice. I want to dice. You know? And then use nature magic, poison, earth magic. You know? We get some close... Well, we can already use our breaths close range. Oh, maybe an actual close range breath where we go like this. Around us. Right? An AoE around us. Like a... Instead of the far, it's like a tighter circle that also goes around us. Oh. And then the healing one. The healing one doesn't pull stuff, so I think a healing one would be... Maybe the healing one also encircles us. So you have the healing one that's poison in green, and then you have another melee one that's the deep breath, but it's a melee deep breath. And then, yeah, you're using your talons. You're using You're using some of the augmentation earthquake stuff. You know? And Devastation can use the healing stuff if they want. This class could use the life blooms and stuff if they want. You know? But we get some more of that green magic that's about dots. Yeah, just dots. And that stuff. So that's kind of what I thought for Evoker. You know. I really like the name. And I really like the flights I picked for it. Maybe some of the moves could be more fleshed out. I didn't flesh it out as much, but I did get those certain things really decided. You know, I also had this as maybe use blue magic too, but I feel like blue is kind of woven through the whole thing. But yeah, maybe give it a couple of blue spells. Maybe a Spellblade. Maybe Azure Strike gets buffed. Alright. So yeah, that's the Evoker one. Alright, DK. The DK one, you may have seen a video where I talk about Necromancer, Unholy becoming Necromancer. You may have seen me do the Primus theme Runebinder support DK. Well, this is it. This is the 4th spec DK needs. Okay, this is the 4th spec DK needs. Okay, so DKs in lore are very fleshed out as the 3 things, dude. The DK is so fleshed out at its 3 things that it's even in Hearthstone. Unholy, Frost, and Blood. Frost is ice, cold magic. Blood, life-stealing, healing magic. Unholy, plague and minions and ghouls and or not goblins, but ghouls and zombies. Okay? But here's the thing. Keep Unholy how it is. Okay? Keep it some minions, some plague. I think it should go more into plague. But let's just say Unholy's fine. The way it is. You got Frost, you got Blood. What other... Like, there's no other rune for DK, so what does DK do? You know, you can just talk about Necromancy as its own thing, but I'm like, no, there's a better thing to call this spec. Domination. Okay, we've been to the Shadowlands. We've seen Domination magic used. The player DK is getting stronger. We've unlocked a new spec called Domination, right? Unholy has Army of the Dead. But it only lasts for a little bit. Domination DK has Army up all the time. All the time, yo ghouls. And you got a big ghoul, you got a bunch of little ghouls, and you got a couple of caster ghouls. I want this to literally be Necromancer in WoW. That's what I want. I want Diablo Necromancer in WoW. I want a ranged... This DK is going to be over here. Yo, I'm the DK. Minions. Do your business. Kill the mobs. And they're going to kill them. I don't want to have to worry about it. I'm going to buff them. I'm going to do my little thing. It's basically... But I want it to be cooler. Demonology for DK. And they're just tanky. They're a tanky caster. They wield a two-hander. They just sitting in the back. Minions, do your business. You know, you have Beastmaster Hunter. You know, anybody, you can tell anybody, pick up Beastmaster Hunter. This is no shame to Beastmaster. Beastmaster can learn to be really good at times too. But it's easy. You just pets go. This is pets go. Demonology should be pets go. Alright? I do my buffs and stuff. You know? That's what I want this spec to be. Domination DK. Army up all the time. And then that's what separates it from Unholy. Unholy summons the army at a time. Right? You know, as its cooldown. This just sits with the army. Keeps them going. I think it'd be cool. So that's my DK spec. I didn't get the robe on him, but I did think the set looked kind of cool. You know, it ain't perfect, but it's something. I think I cooked a little bit. Alright? Alright, so Druid. Druid has to be support. If you're going to get a new role, it's either mid-range or support. Or a different kind of theme of caster. But I was like, no, let's give Druid a different kind of support. So, in my last support Druid build, I was thinking Naturalist, weaving, you're weaving the different, like, cat-bear stuff to buff your allies. That's what I thought last time in Mushroommancer. Well, this one, I was thinking, no. What kind of casting do we not see a lot of Druids get to do? Every now and again, we see Druids do thorns, roots, you know. But what do we see Malfurion do? We see him drag people under. We see Thornspeakers literally grip people in roots and hold them there and restrict them. So this one I call Thornspeaker, and I want this one to be more of that naturalist, well, which is what I kind of called the support spec then, but using the flora to attack, which Resto doesn't really do. Resto is just, when Restoration Druid fights, it's just Boomkin. Okay? I want this to be Thorns on everybody. Kind of support. You know, Roots. What else do we got? You know, maybe the effort. When you help the healer using the effervescence. So, if I'm trying to differentiate from the other support. The other support weaved like Bearcat stuff. Naturalist is what it was. This one I want to be more of the trees, the roots, the thorns, and then, yeah, give this one a little bit of the mushrooms, too. Druid needs a support spec that pulls back those mushrooms to poison enemies, buff allies. You know, Druid is primed for a good support spec. If we get an extra spec to every class and Druid gets one, it's gotta be support. It's just gotta be support, and it just uses the full Birth of Nature magic. You know, you see Malfurion using wind. You know, most druids just have Typhoon. Is that all the wind magic druids can muster? You know, I think they can do more with the nature side of druid that we don't see. Okay, we see the beasts in Guardian, in Feral. We see some of the nature in Resto. Okay, but then you fight just as a Boomkin. Okay, and then Boomkin is just like this full transformation from a druid to this moon laser chicken. I want this to be a caster support that's all about roots, thorns, like actual thorns hitting the enemies, you know, and that Thornspeaker's vibe. Okay? I don't got that one fleshed out a bunch because now at this point, I've kind of done 2-ish, 3-ish different kinds of druid supports, but they got a lot of different options for support, you know, with the mushrooms and the nature magic, and then that shifting druid I thought of. Okay, but let's pull it back. New spec. Hunter. You may be looking at this like, what the hell did you cook for Hunter? Okay. So, support Hunter was Animalism. This one kind of got a similar vibe where it's about becoming the animal, but in a different way. Okay, so listen up. So we got Marksman, Range DPS Hunter. We got Survival, Melee DPS. We got Beastmaster, Range DPS. So it's like, okay, I could just give Hunter another Melee DPS. And I thought, Survival is like Beast. At first, I thought Survival is like Beast Melee. So I tried to make like a gun. I put Gunslinger on Hunter, and I was like, no. This don't work. And then I was like, you got Marksman about the guns, Survival's about like traps in your beast, and then you're wielding a spear. You know, should Survival ever get back to being able to wield one-handers? We see Rexar do that, and I was really thinking about Rexar, you know, and I'm like, he's a Beastmaster too, but we don't see Beastmaster melee. And I'm like, I want a melee that's really with the pets. And I was like, and then part of the animal, and I was like, let's do it. Let's freaking do it. Hunter Tank. I want this to be a hunter that's like warging with their beast. Literally, this is a hunter that sleeps with their bear in the cave, right? I'm a hunter. I got a pack of wolves. I sleep with them. I'm the hunter that was raised by the wolves, okay? And do you know what I do for my pack? I pull out my axes. I look at the mob and I say, hit me. And I'm like, parrying. I am cutting the mob and healing myself like a freaking cannibal. At one point, I was like, this is like Cannibal Hunter. Freaking full headhunter vibe. Like, full beast mode. You know, that's why I wanted to call it Animalism again. I really think a good hunter spec name would be Animalism in some way. And it's a hunter that really taps into the beast. So imagine a hunter just tanking. And their pets there too. Their pets like double teaming you. Like they're both in the front. And the pet's helping you tank damage. You know. It's like you and your bear. And I think it'd be cool if the spec has a different vibe depending on what type of pet you got. So if you're bringing a tank pet, you're extra tanky. If you're bringing a cunning pet, you have this... then they're attacking from the behind, so you do more damage, but you're a little less tanky. And then maybe... is it agile? All I know is you have one that's kind of more... It supports you a little bit. You know, maybe you have the full... I don't think... Your pet's not going to be ranged. No pet's ranged, but... Yeah, it'd be more a supportive, like, pet. Alright, so you got like 3 different styles. Alright. And I was thinking like Way of the Boar kind of defensives, Way of the Bear and stuff. Because hunters aren't druids, so you don't turn into the bear, but you just tap into that carnal frickin' thing. And you know, you get a little bit of lifesteal. Not like a demon hunter lifesteal. I want this to be like maybe like a pain reduction kind of like Warrior, but just like a tap. Like, you get the thrill of the hunt kind of deal. Kind of like a Bloodborne. Like, when you get hit, you can get some of it back if you do one attack right away. Kind of like visceral stuff. I think that'd be cool for Hunter. And then I had him in this getup, because I was like, he becomes the beast. And look how tanky he looks. Look at this. You wear mail. I was like, we need male tanks. Hint, hint. Alright? But yeah. So I called this Beast Lord. But it's also like animalism. Something like that. But that's the vibe, man. Become the animal. Primal. Something like that. But I am going to name something else Primalist. So we'll get to that later. But yeah, friggin' animal hunter. Alright, next up, mage. So, I talked about it earlier, spell melee. So you got Spellblade Mage. Because here's the thing, I don't want to do healing mage, I don't want to repeat sod stuff. So I didn't really want mage healer. So... And then when you really think about mage, they give us a lot of the arcane, frost, and fire is really ingrained to mage society and Dalaran and all they teach. And I guess there is some time magic, so that's where you get the timey-wimey. But I already did that for support mage. And I think that would be a good support mage to be a chronomancer. Okay, but what this is a spellblade. Okay? You still use fire, frost, and arcane. Like, literally, you're using fire and frost and arcane. You use all 3, but you do it martially. You are the martial mage. Okay? You fight. We've seen Spellblade characters in-game. We've seen the new hero talents. They do not conflict. I would love to see a melee mage spec where you're... You know, all them rogues that all the mages talk shit about? You're there with the rogue. You can look a rogue in the eye and be like, I'm in melee now. But then the rogue left to be ranged. But yeah, I think melee mage, spellblade kind of style, you're using your weapon. I think you would be able to use an offhand that literally channels a blade. And you may think, oh, so I have to use a blade and an offhand? And I'm like, I think it could work with a staff. You have a staff, and then you're just wielding magical weapons. You use a frost blade, use an arcane blade to do a thing. Use a flame blade to use a dot. You know, you do little flourishes to give a little bit of AoE frontals. Alright? Throw up some barriers. You know, Mage's got some good defensives. Blink, you use Blink to close distance. You know, maybe turn Blink into a Blink to the target. Okay? So you can have a targeted Blink. Ooh. And yeah, use Dragon Breath. Imagine multiple kinds of Dragon Breaths, so you get like the Arcane, Fire, and Frost breaths for like frontals. Little frontals for AoE. I'm trying to figure out how mechanically it'd work. Because you just have mana like a normal mage. You know, something like that. I got nothing else. I just think it would fit in the lore as a Spellblade. Alright, and I would like to see Melee Mage. Like I said, I'm getting classes in different spots. Alright, so let's move on to Monk. Okay, now, like with my support spec, Monk, to me, has 4 clear styles. Okay? Ox, Tiger, Cloud Serpent, and Crane. Okay? We see Ox represented in Brewmaster. We see Tiger represented in Windwalker. Okay? We see Mistweaver have to, like, straddle the Jade Serpent and the Crane. The Red Crane. Okay? Mistweaver's trying to straddle the two. And what I think we should do with Monk is separate. Okay? So you have Mistweaver lean into the Jade Serpent, lean into the Lightning, and still be a healer. Okay? Still be a healer. Be a fully ranged healer that uses more Mist, more Lightning, and all that kind of stuff. You know, the Jade Lightning. Okay? Then what I want to do with the Crane is change it to be another healer. Why is Priest the only... I'm breaking a rule, by the way. Why is Priest the only healer class with 2 healer specs? I think Monk could have 2 healer specs. Okay? So we split Fist Weaving off. So we have the ranged Monk healer, and then we have the melee Monk healer. And it'd be the full Crane. Fires of Chi-Ji. You go full Avatar of Chi-Ji. You know the Chi-Ji Crane we get in Mop Remix? I want attacks like that. I want to light up. AoE healing with fire. I want them to be able to lean into the Crane. To lean into the Serpent. For 2 Monk healer specs. Alright? Or it could be a support. I think that would work too. But I've already talked about that. I actually really like the name I got for the support. I called it Hope Singer. That was good. I cooked there, in my opinion. But yeah, this one I call Flamedancer. So we have Brewmaster, Windwalker, Mistweaver, Flamedancer. Maybe Hope Dancer. I don't know. But something like that. And they would just use normal monk weapons. You know, what they already do. Alright. So, yeah, Flamedancer, melee healer, full Crane style, fist weaving. Give Monk 2 heal specs. Alright, next up. Paladin. Alright, I put DKs at range. I'm putting Paladins at range. Let's get it. Holy Ranged Caster. Remember in Legion when we had this hammer? There was like an aesthetic hammer and Holy getting the hammer back to hit in melee range was cool. You know, you have Holy Paladin. Maybe you could do what I did for Monk with Paladin. You know, split Holy into two. But what I really want to see is a Paladin caster. Is it hard to visualize a Paladin caster? Yes. I agree. You know, could Paladins possibly get the first 2 tank specs? Could we get a Paladin that just uses 2 shields? Okay, and you make protection be this heal kind of Paladin? But I'm like, no. 2 tanks is kind of hard, and I'm adding up too many tanks already. So I was like, no. Ranged, heavy, holy ranged DPS. Alright? Now, we could have it use a hammer. You know, Paladins apparently can't use ranged weapons. We could give them ranged weapons now that I think about it. A Paladin with a gun? I don't know. I've seen weirder. Paladin with the crossbow? A holy crossbow? Full Van Helsing Exorcist Paladin? And that's kind of what I called it. Exorcist Paladin. Alright? Because that's the thing to me. Remember OG Paladins had exorcism? I want to see a Paladin lean back into that. I'm a Paladin, right? I'm a Paladin of the Holy Light. Okay? I'm not a healer, though. Okay? I can heal my allies. But I'm not a healer. I'm walking through, right? And some evildoers over there. And they're like, I'm gonna get you, Paladin. Why am I gonna... Hold up, listen. I'm in plate because I like my protection, okay? I wear plate because I like plate. I'm a Paladin. I ain't weak. But I have a dude rolling at me way over there. You know what I'm gonna do? The light. Boom! Get away from me. Don't touch me. Exorcise. Expel them demons. Boom. Why can't Paladins do that? I mean, they can now. Ret Paladins are basically ranged, almost. Ret Paladins are becoming ranged. Okay? Give Paladins a full ranged DPS spec. Alright? Ranged DPS Paladins. Do we want to arm them? I don't know. But I think they can use the light. They're armed with their faith. Okay? Alright, so that's my Paladin pitch. Are y'all ready for a wild one? This one ooh. Paladins are like, yo, I'm getting to the back. I don't need to be up front. But priests are like, nah. Priests are like, get out of here with that. I'm getting to the front. This priest is getting to the front. Okay? I'm calling this Inquisitor Priest. And here's the thing. Most people would be like, give Priest a ranged holy DPS spec. The counter to Shadow. And I'm like, nah. And I was thinking, give ranged a melee DPS spec that uses holy damage. And I was like, that ain't spicy enough. So I got out the spices. And I was like, yo, why don't priests tank? Oh, why don't priests just tank? Right? I'm a priest, right? I'm a priest of the holy light. I got all these people around me. They yapping. I don't care what they got to say. I'm in this dungeon. I gotta get through here. I'm pulling. I'm the tank. Right? A mob comes up to me, wants to hit me. I'm like, no. And the mob's like, what? I can't even hit this man. I'm protected by the light. Don't touch. Alright? This is a tank spec that is literally just a shield. It is just a shield. You are maintaining a shield of the light. Okay? Any heals on you? Oh my god, I'm cooking. Oh my god, I'm literally coming up with this right now. Any heals on you, okay? Healers will still have to heal you. Because any heals on you increase your shields. Boom. You are a shield of the holy light. Okay? That shield breaks. Well, I'm going to give you a cheat death mechanic just in case it breaks. Because if it breaks, but it don't break. Because you're wielding the light. Okay? You're inquisitizing the enemy. You are smacking the enemy. You are like, get here. You are protected by the light, but your enemy ain't. Your enemy's getting beat with the light. You're an Inquisitor. You tell me your secrets. Inquisitor Priest. Tank. Spec. I'm done being in the back. Alright? Think about it. Okay? We got 2 left. Okay? Next up, Shaman. Tank. Look at him. What did I call it? Primalist. Isn't it obvious? It's the earthen tank that we want. I know I said I'm not going to do the sod ones. But listen up. This is a spec that everyone knows we need. You have Restoration. Water. You have Enhancement. Hold up. Man, Enhancement's like Wind and Storm. Windstorm, right? Elementals like Fire and Storm. Okay? We need Earth and Storm. Sod Shaman Tank is really fun, but it doesn't do it justice. It does not do Shaman Tank justice. We deserve 20 years of Shaman Tank. Okay? Sod is just a little taste. A little, I have mana problems. Why don't I have 20 years of actual all the cool Shaman stuff? Shaman Tank, if it had been in the game and had all the stuff, all the juice pumped into it, would be so sick looking. We deserve it. You use the earth as your shield. Shamans already wield shields. You use lightning shields. You use your earth shield. But not, you wouldn't use earth shield? Maybe you would. Maybe this is the shaman spec. Maybe you give them the 2 shields. So you have a lightning shield and you have earth shield up. Okay, and you just have a shield. An actual shield. Okay? You elementally charge your body. Okay? Okay, we already have 3 of the 4 elemental ascensions. Okay, Resto goes water. Elemental goes fire. Enhancement goes wind. Where's our earth elemental? Boom, Shaman Tank. Let's get Shaman Tank. I think we should get Shaman Tank when we get Shaman for everybody. It should be, oh my god. It'll be good. It'll be good. They deserve it. There's enough lore. There's enough power to juice that spec. It's there. Alright. The last spec. Alright. As a Demon Hunter main for a long time, I've never, listen to me, I've never wanted to give Metamorphosis back to Warlock because I was like, it's Demon Hunters. Okay? And I still agree with that. Because Demon Hunters need our metamorphosis to feel special, okay? But listen up. In my future, Demon Hunters have the ability to customize their demon form, like Warlocks customize their demon pets. So I don't care if Warlocks get the old demon form back. Give them the old demon form back if I get customizable demon forms. So yeah, Metamorphosis is back. And this is, I'm calling it Demoniac Warlock. Okay? You have Destruction. Just heavy fell magic. You have Affliction. Soul magic. It is still fell magic, but it's shadow magic. Okay? Then you have Demonology. Demonology is a warlock that really likes demons because they want to control demons. Okay? This is a warlock that likes his cloth. You know, he don't want to wear leather, chain, turning. You're telling me I gotta learn to be a demon hunter? I don't want to listen to that guy. I'm just gonna be a demon. And instead of eating a demon, you get a warlock that just infuses themselves with enough fell magic to basically, you take demon skin and you make it full. We already see warlocks having the ability to metamorphosize in the lore. Just give them that metamorphosis back. Okay. Maybe a little bit more customization to it. You give demon hunters our full customization demon form, and you give warlocks a melee cloth spec. Kind of like mage, kind of like the Spellblade, but you're a fell blade. Basically, you're demoniac, and you're wielding a blade. And I imagine another blade, or just like, I have a tome here, and you're just slicing up. You know, give them a little demon breath. A little taste, the demon hunter. You're like a little taste. You're demon hunter light, but you're still a caster. You're throwing dots. You're cursing your enemy. You're not using sigils. You're cursing your enemy. Okay? You're draining them. When you want to, you still drain. You still life drain. Okay? You're not a demon hunter per se, but you're demon hunter-esque. Alright? Get a little immolate aura. I saw how it looked on Sod. I think that version of it looks really cool for Warlock. It fits Warlock's vibe of immolation aura. And I think this would be a really cool way to give Warlock's metamorphosis back for a price. You want metamorphosis back? Well, you're melee now. Become the demon. And that's it. I'll quickfire again, because there was another long video. So, Gunslinger Rogue. Range Rogue. Hunters, you better watch out. More classes are rolling for ranged weapons. Alright? Get more details in the main video, if you're just seeing this little bit. But yeah, Gunslinger Rogue. Range Rogue. Uses guns. Self-explanatory. Demon Hunter. So I got Reaper Demon Hunter. Use soul magic to reap your foes from afar. Or use fell guns. Use infused fell energy into ranged weapons, one-hand guns and crossbows, and shoot fell lasers at your enemies from afar using full Legion technology. Alright. Like the Moarg. Like the freaking Moarg. They got the freaking sight lasers. Oh my god, imagine a demon hunter with the scanner. Like, I could see your power level. Alright. There we go. Warrior. Heavy Gunner Warrior. Alright. This is a warrior that picks that ranged weapon back up and is like, I'm just gonna blast. I'm just gonna blast. I'm gonna make some big boom and blast them. Alright, I'm gonna charge around. I'm gonna intercept. And I'm still gonna blast them. Far away, up close, they getting blasted. I'm Heavy Gunner Warrior. Or Bombardier Warrior, which you decide. Blizzard decides. Next up, Degradation Evoker. Melee Evoker, cut your enemies with green and black magic. Little bit of blue from up close. From behind, stab them. Give them a little cut. Give them a little poison breath. Alright, Degradation. Melee Evoker. Alright, next up, Ranged DK. Domination DK. Necromancer DK. You want a Necromancer from Diablo and WoW? This spec. Army of the Dead, Unholy does it every 10 minutes. Domination DK has it 24/7. But, you sit back. You don't need to hit them. You sit at range. Your minions do your work. You don't get up in there. Alright, your Domination DK. Range DK. Alright. Druid. Support Druid. Thornspeaker Druid. Use the roots. Use the vines. Use the earth. Use the mushrooms. Buff your allies. Thorn them up. Frickin' poison your enemies. Dot them up. Hot up your allies. And use the power of nature as a support / DPS. There you go. Alright. Beast Lord / Animalist Hunter. Become the beast. Tank the mob. You don't let no one tell you what to do. You are the animal. You don't become a bear, but you feel like a bear. Alright? Your pet by your side, you can tank the world. Alright? Use your hand, use your fists, use your axes. You know, relish the violence as Animalist Hunter. Or Beast Lord. Something like that. Next up, Spellblade Mage. You use a spell on your blade. You get up there and you cut. You get up there and you cut your enemy. Oh my god, I've been on the character select screen too long. Oh my god. But yeah, Spellblade Mage. You use Frostfire and Arcane to cut your enemies up close. And, show them what's up. What if the transmog's all messed up? Okay, it's not, thank goodness. So yeah, Spellblade Mage. Quickfire. Flamedancer Monk. Use the crane. Become the crane. Fistweaver Healer. Its own spec. Mistweaver's range healer. This is melee healer monk spec. Paladin. Inquisitor Paladin. No. Exorcist Paladin. Exorcise your enemies from afar. You don't need to get up close. Use the light to blast your enemies. You're a paladin. You don't gotta deal with that with your... You don't gotta get up close. Sit up on your pony. Blast them from afar. I did have a paladin spec where you're just on your horse. That would be cool too. But yeah, Exorcist Paladin. Return to exorcism. Alright. Tank Priest. Inquisitor Priest. You're the tank. You don't need no... You don't need a warrior to tell you what to do. You're the tank now. You use holy magic and a barrier to stay alive while you smite your enemies up close with your flail. Alright? Primalist Shaman. Shaman tank. It's what we wanted. You know what's up. Demon Hunter Light Warlock. I'm calling it Demoniac Warlock. Become the demon. Is basically Fellblade. but with like Demon Claws and Demon Metamorphosis, and Warlock is back with this Warlock. And there you go. That was the summary. That was the rant. It's an hour long. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.